This week on the Strange Play News Recap, Nintendo screw the pooch with their online service, the end could be in sight for loot boxes, and we discuss the newly announced PlayStation Classic. Hello and welcome to Strange Play, I'm Rick.
I'm Simon.
And this is the news recap for Sunday the 23rd of September. So for those of you that are new here, what we do on this show is each and every Sunday we go over 3 of the biggest gaming news stories of the past 7 days, give you the facts and then share our opinions. And to start with, we have a story from Nintendo, which is a load of garbage really. Nintendo Online has launched and it's a load of shit. Online multiplayer, which Switch users have been able to use since launch, is now locked behind a paywall of £20 a year, which to be fair isn't a lot when compared to rivals Sony and Microsoft. However, unlike Nintendo, those guys have something substantial to offer. Nintendo Online gives players access to classic NES games, some of which have added online play and can be downloaded and played anywhere, anytime, as long as you have an online subscription. There are only 20 games available at the moment, but more will be added each month. Switch players can now use cloud saves. The one caveat is that not all games can use the cloud save feature, Splatoon 2 and 1-2 Switch being the two listed in the small print on Nintendo.com. Game Informer did some sleuthing however and found that Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, Dark Souls Remastered, Dead Cells, FIFA 19 and NBA 2K19 were also exempt from cloud saves. Game Informer reached out to Nintendo, who responded with the following statement. The vast majority of Nintendo Switch games will support save data cloud backup. However, in certain games this feature would make it possible to, for example, regain items that had been traded to other players or revert to a higher online multiplayer ranking that had been lost. To ensure fair play, save data cloud backup may not be enabled for such games. To ensure that save data cloud backups cannot be used to unfairly affect online multiplayer rankings, the feature will not be enabled in Splatoon 2. To add injury to this already insulting deal, if your subscription lapses for whatever reason, your cloud saves will be wiped. This is absolute bullshit. This is one of the worst online subscription things I have ever seen.
I think the most galling thing about this is people that adore Nintendo are like, well, it's just 20 quid, you're not going to miss 20 quid. And it's like, I fucking am, because what they're offering is shit.
The thing is, like, £20 a year is nothing, but the fact that they offered online play free initially, and now it's locked behind a paywall, the cloud saves thing is disgusting, especially the fact that it gets deleted if you miss a payment. If I'm not mistaken, Microsoft just have cloud data storage anyway.
I don't even think you need to pay for the cloud storage on Microsoft.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And then PlayStation, I think you get 6 months leeway.
Yeah, you get a 6-month, like a gratuity.
Yeah, before they get wiped. And that's nice. That's a fair amount of time. This is fucking stupid. And their excuse is absolute horseshit as well. The backups happen automatically. It says on the fucking website that it's automatic backup. It saves automatically. It works like every other cloud storage thing does. And no one else has issues with cheating due to cloud storage. If people are able to download items that they've traded or get back rankings that they've dropped from, that's a problem with Nintendo's infrastructure for save games.
Yeah. It's a heavy-handed way to go about save scumming, isn't it?
It's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, it's fucking nonsense. Like, I look at this as a whole package and just go, well, that's shit. That's fucking nonsense. I think the NES games are actually just the suite that you got from the mini NES that came out. It's just that. It's basically that. It's like for like.
There's a few that aren't.
But yeah, apparently it's basically. I don't think they could have put any less effort into this than they have. It's crap. If I'm paying to play for online, I want the bare minimum of what Xbox Live were like when it launched on 360. I want integrated messages, a gamer tag that is unified across every single game. I want voice chat in every game.
That's something else as well. Even with online, you still need to use your fucking mobile phone.
Yeah, it's fucking Nintendo. Like, I really admire Nintendo with what they're doing with most of their stuff, but I don't think they'll ever get their head out of their ass when it comes to online.
No.
I honestly don't. They're just completely oblivious. You look at how Sony dealt with it back in last gen when 360 were just sprinting away with it. They showed everyone how it should be done, and to some degree, Sony have sort of taken up that mantle. But you learn from other people's mistakes. And Nintendo are just like, yeah, fuck it, we're just going to make our own mistakes, and fuck you. Like, we're Nintendo, people will pay us regardless because it's Nintendo. You look at stuff like, I mentioned the NES and the SNES Mini and the Amiibos and stuff. They're always going to cut their own fucking path. It don't matter if it's fucking good, bad or indifferent. This time it's fucking bad.
Yeah, and it's not like there isn't subscription things out there that they could have just copied. You know, they could have just copied what PlayStation and Microsoft do. Like, I get what they're trying to do with, like, now you have access to these games. And maybe in the future, that'll be worth it. But at the minute, it's not.
I think you get 3 games a month as well, don't you? Which is 3 NES games a month. Come on, Nintendo.
Yeah, that's fucking stupid. Like, Nintendo have one of the most impressive back catalogues of any game company in history. And they're like, yeah, this is our state-of-the-art brand new thing. Here's the oldest games that you've probably already got several times anyway.
The most annoying thing for me about this is they've fucking tried to shut down all the emu sites.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, well, if you're going to shut them down, at least put a fucking service up that people can use in lieu of those sites being shut.
Yeah.
Don't fucking fob us off with this nonsense, you set of fucking pillocks. Actually put a system down that people want to invest in and have the easy use thing there. They don't have to fucking jump through hoops, installing emulators and going through settings. Just make everything work. Like, that's your in. You've got it. There you go. That's your idea. You can be your Netflix of Nintendo, of emulation. Like, just get on that. And people will lap it up. But the way you're fucking going about it now is just... You're just alienating people that are diehard Nintendo fans.
Like, I was talking to Elliot about it last night. And I said, if Nintendo just put their entire back catalogue in a Game Pass style system, which is kind of like what this is, but if they had their entire catalogue, or even just NES, N64...
Yeah, up to N64 to be fair, I think.
Yeah, maybe even GameCube as well, and charged like £40 a year, but were like, here's 4 generations worth of games. They could charge fucking 50, 60 quid a year. If they were giving all that content, people would be like, yeah, this is great. Because how much is Game Pass a month?
It's 8 quid. 8 or 9 quid.
So that's like, what, about £100 a year?
Yeah, something like that.
If Nintendo did Game Pass with their back catalogue, included their online thing, and then went £100 a year, people would be like, that's fair, look at all those games.
I think as well, like, you brought Game Pass up there. The Sony variant, they've just announced that you can download the games because they were a big hoo-ha about having to play them on their servers. So you
streaming it, yeah.
And that's because of Game Pass. The whole thing is, Microsoft brought another product to the market. They did it better than Sony, and Sony's had to react. Yeah. Whereas Nintendo are just like, fucking sat over here eating crayons. like a fucking idiot. Do you know, like, just not paying attention to what's happening in the other corners of the market, because that's what they should be aiming for. They should be aiming for what Game Pass is.
Yeah.
With the added benefit of playing online and having your cloud storage for more than your subscription actually lasts. Yeah. So yeah, they're fucking idiots, and the people that are defending it, you're fucking idiots as well. I don't give a fuck. Come at me. I think the most galling thing, I've said that before, but the thing that someone put up that I sort of laughed at, and when I thought about it, people should have retorted to that, but they were, in Splatoon, they have this thing where you can sort of, like draw pictures and stuff. Do you remember Miiverse before the... Yeah. And it said, bye poor people, on the day that it went out, and I were like, yeah, I'll see you later, people that have got more money than sense. Like, just fucking go back, you fucking indoctrinated idiots.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk you down off this ledge, because I agree with you, so what's next?
Okay. Loot box time. Like every week. To be fair, we have had some weeks where we haven't talked about loot boxes. But
when?
Yeah, this isn't one of those weeks.
When?
Okay, so this story's been taken from Eurogamer. So last week we covered the all Belgium versus EA thing, which was pretty big in its own right. However, the loot box fixation ain't over yet. 16 gambling regulators, mostly from Europe, have clubbed together and announced that they will address the risks created by the blurring of lines between gaming and gambling. This coalition, which was put together at the 2018 Gambling Regulators European Forum, which is a fucking mouthful, now I'm reading it back. It includes some big players, the biggest of which are France, the UK and Spain. The investigation focus for the regulators is to tackle unlicensed gambling via third-party sites that are linked to video games. So if you're unfamiliar with this kind of thing, it's basically a website where you can gamble skins, some of which can be quite valuable. There were a crackdown on sites like this back in 2016, but they just keep cropping up. Regulators want the video games industry and the platforms hosting the sites to bear some of the burden on taking these unregulated websites out of action. But that's not really doing away with loot boxes, is it? Well, actually it might be. The regulators have extended their investigations within the games industry and insist that game devs and publishers must ensure that features within games, such as loot boxes, do not constitute gambling under national laws. In short, each country's regulators included in the collection of regulators are examining if loot boxes can be classed as gambling. The motivation behind the investigation is powered by the concerns about consumer protection as well as the safety of children online. Neil MacArthur, the chief executive of the UK Gambling Commission, went on the record saying, "Regulators want parents to be aware of the risks and talk to their children about how to stay safe. Unlicensed websites offering skins betting can pop up at any time and children could be gambling with money intended for computer game products. We encourage video games companies to work with their gambling regulators and to take action now to address those concerns to make sure that consumers, and particularly children, are protected." While nothing's been done yet, pressure is going to mount on publishers who insist on integrating loot boxes into their games. Not only are parts of the EU looking deeper into how damaging loot boxes are, but the raised concern is also bringing other countries like Australia to take a look at the video games they consume to see if any laws are being broken. Relative minnows like Belgium and the Netherlands were not enough to change the gaming industry on their own when it comes to loot box concerns. However, the sheer heft of countries like France, the UK and Spain backing this investigation means that those lucrative markets are possibly tipping the balance of not having gambling mechanics in games as a standard. The UK's change of stance, which previously said that loot boxes were not gambling, is also giving us hope that some other countries could change their stance too, especially as more detailed reports come out detailing the predatory nature of the loot box. So, I think loot boxes have started to dig themselves into a bit of a hole here, because more regulators are turning their eye to it.
Now, granted, the lion's share of this story was directed at gambling websites. The fact that they're being targeted is great. It is going to have a knock-on effect on loot boxes because it's going to have to look at gaming and gambling as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, like this is definitely a step in the right direction. And it looks like Belgium and the Netherlands sort of got the ball rolling a little bit by being so outspoken about it.
I think the big thing to take home from this is that, like you say, Belgium and Netherlands got the ball rolling. And to some extent, some other places, do you remember the This Is a Trap guy from Hawaii?
Yeah.
Have shone a spotlight on this. And the game industry thought, oh, it'd be alright, we'll sweep it under the rug. But for some people, it's too much. Like, especially when you look at the Gambling Commission, they're there to protect people. And they're going to be there to protect people. You can't just put gambling things into something and expect the regulators to look the other way, because that's what they're there for. They can't turn a blind eye to it. You look at stuff like, especially in the UK recently, they made it so that, do you know the fruit machines?
Yeah.
You can only put £2 in them. They made it so that it made you slow down. You couldn't put money in it fast enough to, do you know, like blow fucking hundreds in minutes.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you can do with loot boxes. You can put as much money in them and it can be gone in moments.
You can accidentally spend $10,000.
Yeah, this is the sort of thing that those organisations were set up to prevent. And there's people that will have fallen into it. It's predatory. It's to a level where people don't realise how much they're spending. And if you don't have that money, then it's going to fuck your life up. You're not going to be able to eat or fucking pay your bills or, just do all the things that responsible adults, or even kids, like just getting kids hooked on gambling, just normalising it is super fucking bad.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that. You just, like, kids make fucking bad decisions anyway. I know I made a lot of bad decisions when I was a kid, but I learned from them and I grew from it. But I'm not a fucking idiot. Well, some would argue, but some kids are
I've got
fucking
no
idiots.
comment.
They're impulsive and they will go for stuff like this.
Yeah.
And having an organisation to go, you know what, we're going to stop this. Like, at least put some measures in place that educate people what they're getting into. The normal populace doesn't understand what's going on in these games. They just they give them to the kids and just expect them to be what they were when they played 10 or 15 years ago or whatever, and think nothing more of it. But they're much more insidious and quite dangerous as well, I think, in that regard, that you're setting that trap for people to fall into with the payments that are just ongoing. You can just fucking put as much in as you want.
Yeah.
It really is sickening. Like, I'm surprised that this shit hasn't been on a lot more Watchdog and other consumer shows, because it's really fucking shitty.
Yeah, and I'm surprised it's taken so fucking long, because this has been going on for ages, and it just feels like now people are going, oh, actually, maybe it's not okay.
Well, we're coming up for, when were the first loot box? FIFA, 2009, 2010? It's been going on for too long, and it's finally, I think, that easy income from them is going to dry up. And I hope it fucking damages EA.
Yeah.
I hope it damages 2K. The people that are relying on this shit to turn a profit, it's not a good way of operating. You have to make a good product. You can't just expect people to fucking buy you up with this bullshit. And you can't expect to fucking balance your games around this and expect people to be alright with it, because you're turning it into a play to win, and that's not acceptable for a £50 game, I'm afraid. What we got next anyway? Let's lighten it up.
Well, this next story comes from Sony, and they've revealed that this Christmas's must-have gadget has been announced, and that is the PlayStation Classic. The official blurb on PlayStation.com describes it as a miniature recreation of the original PlayStation, preloaded with 20 of the best titles from a game-changing era. The design of the PlayStation Classic perfectly mirrors the original console, with the same logo, button layout and packaging, but 45% smaller than 1994's PlayStation. This miniature console comes with an HDMI cable to connect to your TV, complete with 2 wired controllers, plus a virtual memory card to save your adventures as you switch between titles. The footnote on that is a compatible USB AC adapter is not included, and is required to use the console. Relive the moments that changed gaming forever with the iconic PlayStation Classic, featuring 20 of the best games from the original PlayStation console, including Final Fantasy VII, Tekken 3, Ridge Racer Type 4, Jumping Flash, Wild Arms, and more to be announced. It'll retail at $100 American, €100, $150 Australian, and around £90 on this godforsaken isle we call Great Britain. Now, I think this is cool, personally. I think this is very cool. It's a nice little slice of nostalgia, like seeing PlayStation get in on that market that Nintendo have cornered for the last couple of years. I've seen people complaining about the price, with it being like £90, but the SNES Classic was $60. This is the generation after that, so it kind of makes sense to me. I've seen people going, oh, it's cheaper just to go and buy a PlayStation and then go and buy the games separately.
Go find a PlayStation that works, you fucking idiots.
Not even that, man. Like, Wild Arms alone is like 30 or 40 quid. Other people are saying, oh, it would be cheaper to go and buy an old PlayStation 3 and download the games from the PlayStation Network. Which again is a load of bollocks, because those games are about £5 each. Final Fantasy is a little bit more expensive, and not all of the games are going to be on the PlayStation Network.
The one argument that I've seen is, oh, they're just copying Nintendo, and it's like, well, they were a mini Commodore 64. There's been several of these things, and even before this, going back to the 90s, I had a fucking, like a Sega pad called, I think it was TV Boy or something it were fucking called, that had Atari games on it. So they can fuck off for a start.
Yeah, Nintendo aren't the first people to make miniature consoles. The SNES and NES Mini weren't the first miniature consoles, so they're not copying Nintendo at all. I mean, the fact they call it the PlayStation Classic a little bit, and they're kind of marketing it the same, but so what? Like, let's be fair, Sony have always copied what Nintendo did.
Yeah, just to spite them.
Yeah, this is nothing new. I've pre-ordered mine because I just love gadgets like that. This is going to be like the fucking 8th copy of Final Fantasy VII that I own, and it's cool. Like, I want to get one for my dad because he had a PlayStation and then he moved on to Xbox after that. But he loved Final Fantasy VII. Wild Arms 3 he'd get a kick out of. Sorry, Wild Arms he'd get a kick out of. And this is cool. Like, this is... It's the SNES classic for a different generation of people.
I'm not so enthralled with it, I've got to be honest. I don't... I get why people love the NES Classic and the SNES Classic and whenever the fucking N64 Classic comes out. Like, there's going to be a market for those things because people want that nostalgia hit. But when I buy something, I want to use it. And I look at these and I'm like, I'm never going to use these. Like, I'll put them up. I'll probably play each game for like 5 minutes. And then I'll be like, okay, well, that were expensive. That were an expensive waste of time.
Yeah.
And I'll never use it again. So for me, it's a load of hubbub about nothing.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, it's not for you.
No,
This
that's
isn't
it.
a
Like,
thing for you.
I think as well, people are sort of getting carried away. Like, I were looking at people on Twitter saying, oh, I hope Gran Turismo is going to be on there. I hope Wipeout's going to be on there. I hope this, and just reeling off all these games. And it's like, yeah, that'd be really, really cool. And then I had to think about it, and it's like, well, Tony Hawk's is out of it because all the licensed music, that's fucking done. That's not going to be on there. I'd be surprised if it were. Plus the old Tony Hawk aspect of it, not going to happen. And then I was like, what about Wipeout? Oh, well, it's got all that music on it, so I guess that's not going to happen.
No, but the Wipeout soundtrack was created for the game.
Yeah, but they're still going to have to relicense it. It's still Prodigy and what have you in it, so...
No, it was Orbital.
I can't see it happen. Orbitals. No, what
No,
it Prodigy? Or
Orbital did Wipeout.
I thought it was Prodigy. Oh,
No,
was
it was
that on the
Orbital.
second game?
Probably, but I know for the first one was Orbital, and that was made specifically for the game. Like, they did the soundtrack, so it wouldn't need to be licensed because it's part of the game. So that'd work.
I don't know about that. The other one that I've seen is Gran Turismo. They're going to have to license all those cars again, so that's probably not going to happen. Basically, all the fucking games that made PlayStation for me are no-goes. The other thing worth noting is it's the original controllers, so no dual stick stuff. So stuff like Ape Escape.
Ape Escape's out of it.
Done out. Another one I'd like to see, Vib Ribbon, but you needed CDs to get the best out of that. So it won't surprise me if it were in there, but you're not using it to your full potential if it is.
It'd be cool if they put something on it where you could just plug a USB into the second controller with MP3s on it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'm trying to think of other games that I'd really like to see. Maybe Alundra. That'd be a cool game to have.
That'd be great. And the fact that they put Wild Arms 3 on it, I keep calling it Wild Arms 3 because I've got, in my peripheral, I can see Wild Arms 3 on my shelf. But yeah, Alundra is a good shout. It's a great game. A lot of them are depending on third parties and if they're going to be arseholes or not. Because I'd quite like to see Metal Gear Solid and Silent Hill and Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
And Metal Gear Solid is quite possibly one of the bigger games that might happen because it's Koinami, and Koinami will bend over backwards to earn money. It's easy for them, isn't it, to just throw that on it?
Yeah, so is Silent Hill and Castlevania Symphony of the Night. That's Konami as well.
Yeah, Symphony of the Night is such a fucking good game.
Yeah, I'd like to see either Blood Omen, Legacy of Kain, or Soul Reaver on there as well.
Yep, those were both. I tell you what, I Blood Omen I was okay with, but Soul Reaver really, really struck a chord with me.
Yeah.
It was the first time I ever played at like that sort of Metroidvania style of, you get skills and it allows you to access new areas and stuff. So it was revolutionary for me. That's just me though. I mean, I never played Nintendo until like the 2000s, so...
Do you reckon we'll get loaded on there? Or reloaded?
Reloaded could be a thing.
One of the Twisted Metals for sure.
Twisted Metal could happen as well. See, this is the thing, like, with Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon, they're owned by Activision now. So that's another bit of piecemeal that's broken off. Pandemonium, I think that might happen.
Yeah, that'd be good.
The Pandemonium games were alright. Yeah, it's hard to... Because, I mean, me and you come from very different gaming backgrounds. You love Final Fantasy and Wild Arms and stuff, whereas I were more into stuff like Tokatorian Cars and Colin McRae and...
Colin McRae would be good.
I can't see it happening, though, because it's Subaru's, in it, and it's all licensing, so...
Well, doesn't Ridge Racer have licensed cars in it, or is that all make-believe?
Ridge Race is all fantasy cars, yeah.
Right. Okay.
It's all basically Namco sponsoring and stuff like that.
Okay.
So yeah, there's going to be no issues there. Yeah, it's hard to know. It's going to be interesting to see what the other 15 games are, though, because,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm shooting holes in it going, well, this ain't going to happen because of licensed music, this ain't going to happen because licensed cars, this ain't going to happen because it's based on a person. So...
I'd like Tomb Raider 2 and one of the Resident Evils as well.
But which one?
I want to say 2, because it's my favourite. But with the remake coming out, I mean, that might be a good way to get interest in the remake. Box it onto this thing, people get this for Christmas, go, wow, I remember how much fun this game was. Oh shit, they've remade it, because a lot of people aren't going to know about that. Or Resident Evil Director's Cut.
I think Director's Cut would probably be the best fit.
Yeah, I like the Director's Cut to be on there.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of other games that I had that I really, really liked. Stuff like Tombi would be fucking cool, or Klonoa, if they could get those.
Yeah, Klonoa would be wonderful.
Not Tombi, Tomba. I always
Tomba,
fucking get it
yeah.
mixed up. But yeah, those games would be really cool if they could get those. Stuff like Siphon Filter as well would be really cool if they could get that.
I'd actually like to see Devil Dice on there.
Oh yeah, Devil Dice were cool. There were a game called Karushi as well, which were really good.
Yeah.
Really, it could be fucking anything. I mean, it depends on what Sony have... It depends on what strings Sony have pulled with people, because there's a lot of nostalgia there, and people will be wanting to sort of link into games that are currently coming out, like Soul Calibur would be a good one, or Soul Blade, rather, or... God, what about Toshinden? Or Bushido Blade? Something like that.
Yeah. Also, Brave Fencer Musashi, because that's not available digitally anywhere.
What about Vagrant Story?
This is going to sound bad, but I think that's a little bit too hardcore to be put on this.
Right. There were another RPG that I remember playing, a JRPG back in the 90s. I think it was called Metal... It wasn't Wild Arms, but it was something like Metal Arms or something like that. I think that were a big Japanese thing. It might have got an American release, but it didn't see a UK release. That'd be cool if they went down the route of what the SNES Mini did and released games that never got, a UK release.
Yeah.
That'd be really nice, because that'd actually make it desirable for a lot of people.
Well, in that case, I'd love to see Chrono Cross and Xenogears. And
Xenogears, that's it. That's the one I was looking for. Xenogears.
Yeah,
Xenogears.
Yeah, I'd like to see Front Mission 3 as well. Big mech RPG. You'd enjoy that one.
I tell you what I would like to see, Armored Core. I really like those games, Armored Core. I'd also like to
Colony
see...
Wars.
Colony Wars, yeah, G-Police. Yeah. Those fucking games, fantastic games. I tell you what I would like to see as well, just as an aside. Not actual games, but just an app. The T-Rex walking and the Manta Ray.
From the demo disc.
Yeah, the demo disc.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, those little demos. Oh, God. You just remember fucking loading it up to play about with Dinosaur.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think there's a lot of potential there. There is a lot of potential there, but it depends on what they can get with licensing. It'd be interesting to find out what the viewers would like to see. If they'd like to see anything that we've not mentioned, just throw it in comments.
Yeah.
Like, I'm genuinely interested, because the catalogue for the PlayStation 1 were just ginormous.
Oh, it's great.
They released everything for it. I think outside the PlayStation 2, it probably had the most robust and versatile lineup out of any console. There was something there for everyone. It didn't matter whether you were casual, hardcore. There was stupid stuff like Bishi Bashi Special and Point Blank, and every ounce of gaming territory covered in that. There wasn't anything that was laid bare.
Yeah.
I think the PlayStation 1 is one, if not of the most important gaming consoles ever made.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Just because of the way it changed the gaming landscape. It made it from a kid's pastime, where you'd be playing it bedroom on a 14-inch portable TV, and it brought it back into the living room on the big 28-inch. back in the 90s, when 28 inches were on your big cathode ray tube TV, weighed more than a car.
Yeah, those were the days. But that is it for this week's news recap. So if you'd like to talk to us about any of the stories we mentioned, then please feel free to leave a comment below, or talk to us over at Twitter at StrangePlayUK, or join our Facebook group at facebook.com/StrangePlayUK. You can also join our Discord server, invite link in the description. Also, if you like this video or like what we do on the channel, feel free to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share this video with your friends. It helps us grow as a channel, and we really do appreciate it. But until next week, thank you very much for watching, and we will see you then.
Bye.